The setup looks really ominous. I apologize for that. I'm gonna be quick about this. My name is Sophia, and yes, I am gonna defend BookTok for like a hot second. I really think that I should get a pair of sunglasses that just does not reflect light. But anyway, so I really liked Icebreaker. I genuinely did. Obviously, there are cheesy aspects, but I thought that the side plots that added on to the romance added some dimension. Obviously, the side characters not very fleshed out. From the romance books I have read, they're not that important. Honestly, they're not that important because then you get more development in their own books, in their own romance side plots. I found the representation of like different ethnicities, of like different disabilities, mental health stuff to be pretty cool. And again, I really like the side plot of what's her name? Anastasia? Yes, Anastasia Romanov type shit. I just finished this book that was called oh my god, The Haunting of Moscow House. That was a really good book. It's a good haunted house book. I do love Soviet era horror. I think that's very useful. I'm going back to the subject at hand. So here's the thing. Romance in and of itself is going to be a little bit cheesy. And some of the stuff is kind of cringy, but I'm going to be honest with you. What part of life isn't? Okay, people like to shit on Icebreaker because, oh my god, they fucked in the back of the car. Oh my god, he dressed up as Gru. Like, that's so creepy. Like, that's so whatever. Oh my god, they don't get any other character development. It's like, have you ever had a normal friendship that you didn't make fun of? Okay? I bet you, I bet your bottom dollar, not my bottom dollar, your bottom dollar, that you have been attracted to somebody dressed up in a cheesy costume, okay? And I have never had sex in the back of a car with a bunch of my friends around me. I have nibbled on someone's neck in such a connotation, okay? It's not the craziest thing in the world. Yes, maybe it's probably a little bit invasive, but like, all things considered. Now, in the bigger realm of BookTok books, Icebreaker was the equivalent of handing a grade schooler glitter glue. It was a horrible idea, okay? We're getting off-brand hockey romances left and right. We're getting people fantasizing about the football players, okay? And that's probably due to the Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift thing. But like, we're not talking about that, okay? It also kind of really set off that kick of like, oh, the contemporary romance with the cutesy little album cover, the cutesy cover, right? And other books were doing this before Icebreaker, 100%. But Icebreaker really shoved it into the mainstream, or the BookTok stream, which then became the mainstream. And I don't think that that's like always a bad thing. Because the thing that most people criticize about BookTok books is, oh my god, this stuff is so pornographic. This stuff is so weird. Kids can read it. That's something that I personally have a problem with. But then you fall into the realm of what is R-rated? What should be blocked off for kids? And then, as always, you're like, well, gay people shouldn't be around my kids, right? But like, guys literally watch porn where people are raped, okay? Guys watch porn where what's the number one category on Pornhub is stepsister, stepmother, and like, when I have perused such sites, for different reasons, obviously, I've never felt a sexual attraction my whole life. Not because like I don't feel that, but like I'm God, so like I'm gonna move on. It's the first thing you run into, like, actually. And it's intense, and that's pretty bad. And normally, kids are introduced to it at a very young age where they probably shouldn't be watching it, especially, like, boys. From what I've heard, I was pretty shocked. I went to, like, a Catholic school, so when I would hear from, like, my friends in college, they're like, yeah, I saw 2 Girls, 1 Cup when I was in, like, middle school. I was like, what? That had psychological damage on them. I know that, okay? What was my point? I'm pointing my foot. You can't see, but like, oh my god, that was really, really painful, okay? But the people that are reading these smutty romance novels are grown adult women. And yeah, some teenagers of a certain age where it's like, well, it's either that or porn, right? And I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't like a lot of dark romance novels. That doesn't appeal to me. I'm a very straightforward person. I'm very much like, I like you. I don't want to punch you in the face for that. I like you. You know? In dark romance, it's very towing a lot of lines, but there's this thing that a lot of normal novel readers have not experienced, which is AO3. AO3 is a website where you read fan fiction and you go through tags. You can filter through tags for things that you want to read or not, right? This is very well known, okay? And a lot of people, myself included, will be like, these are a list of things I don't want to see. Get it out of here, right? And I feel like when it comes to novels and things, there's not that sort of thing, right? Because what I might find disturbing and consider stalking might be different from somebody else's definition of what is stalking, right? There are different levels, and because of that, people will end up finding stuff that they don't want to, and thus this community that is like pretty logical when it comes to their own stuff, that it is kind of controversial in and of itself, but they know how to deal with it, is exposed to a larger audience, and in the process, it's like, now everybody is looking at, I don't know, incest fan fiction, okay? And I don't like incest. It's an example. It was the first one I could think of. I'm really sorry. I was thinking of like controversial BookTok, or not BookTok, but fan fiction stuff, and all I could think of was how people ship the Winchester brothers in Supernatural. Never watched Supernatural. I think I watched the first 3 episodes. I was like, nah. I want to hear about the creepy crawlies. I don't want to watch you kill them. You didn't tell me you were gonna kill it! I got this Peanuts lunchbox for my boyfriend. I love you, Beanie. Isn't this the cutest thing ever? Ever. It's got little comic strips on the sides. I will say, I love that it doesn't show Snoopy smiling a lot. Snoopy has been terribly mischaracterized in the mainstream, okay? He's always smiling and cutesy and stuff, and it's like, well, yes, but Snoopy is Joe Cool. Snoopy is a stone cold bitch, okay? Snoopy is a wizard, and he has a, what's it called? Hammer Space Home. Do you have a Hammer Space Home? No, you're not equipped to deal with that. Anyway, back to BookTok. And I find it so surprising that people are hating on this. They're like, oh my god, it's just smut. It's just smut. Like, what even is that? And it's like, you watch porn! This is porn. Have you ever heard of porn with a plot? No, you haven't, because you just watch normal porn. Porn with a plot is another fan fiction category, okay? And I think very respectable, okay? Everybody needs a little bit of, entertainment. And it's part of the reason that, like, men and women are attracted to different types of sexual content. For men, it's pretty much check the boxes, this is what I want to see, da-da-da-da. And with women, it's like, well, I want some sort of investment. Right? I'm going to invest in this company. I need a reason. Okay, sharks? Well, obviously you would be the shark. Anyway. Now, that being said, that's what I wanted to say about BookTok. This is a separate bone to pick a separate bone that I have to pick with the second novel and kind of the third one of the Icebreaker series and the last chapter of Icebreaker, okay? The last chapter of Icebreaker is an epilogue, and it's literally babies in marriage. I know. A successful, what's Major League Hockey? MLH player, a successful figure skater, and then boom, she gets an Olympic gold medal. Boom, she gets pregnant. Somehow she gets another medal. I can't remember the exact order. But it feels a little bit disappointing that that's the conclusion. It was the same way I felt about an anime called Planetes. I don't know what it's actually called, but that was what it was named on Night Anime. But it's perfect up until like the outro for the very last episode, where this character who has said the whole time, I am going to make the world a better place, she gets disabled because of something she helped in a terrorist attack. Some people she helped in a terrorist attack. And she's like, I want to work out here in space, da-da-da-da. And the dude who proposes to her he is very motivated. You know, he's not the perfect dude all the time. He goes through a villain arc, which is so beautiful. And then it ends and he proposes to her while they're out in space. Beautiful, because that has to do with the whole stuff, their job. And then it cuts to him taking off on a 7-year trip, which they had discussed previously, to Jupiter. And her having the same fucking role as his mother, who basically like passively waited for his dad on Earth, no matter how much he didn't talk to her, how she had to raise a kid alone, and with this passive fucking smile. And it pisses me off. Every time I see this type of smile in shows and anime and stuff, I know exactly, it's like, it's nurturing in a way that pisses me off, because it's literally like, there's no personality to this person, it's just what they do for another person, and I hate that, okay? That's what I felt like the last chapter of Icebreaker was. Why are you not allowing these people to have their identity outside of each other? Obviously, a romance about coming together, but like, they have their own things going on. What happened with, what's his name? Nick? Tyler? I don't remember the dude's name. I'm really sorry. He doesn't have a big hockey name, I guess. But, like, he had a bunch of familial issues. What happened to those? Nope, he's just doing Major League Hockey. What happened to Anastasia's, you know, basically her eating disorder, right? No, right? It's kind of disappointing. And Wildfire. And despite that, I liked Icebreaker. I thought that it was a really good book. I thought that it was a pretty good romance. Yes, it really isn't enemies to lovers. It's kind of stupid. They could have just had like a cute like, hey, like, oh my god, hey, we're both on the ice. We both do ice stuff. Like, that's crazy, right? And not have like a stupid enemies to lovers where they just like kind of hate each other for no reason. People that write enemies to lovers, hot take, 80% of the time, people that write enemies to lovers do that because they don't know how to write chemistry. I hate to say it, but it's the truth, okay? I've read like 3 good enemies to lovers things, and that's it. Out of all the stuff I've read in my whole life, 3. Maybe that I was like, okay, yeah, you guys just fucking hate each other. All right, go, yeah. Or even like a rivals to lovers, like, okay, whoever performs better in competitions or in games will get to use the ice more. I think that's pretty unethical, but like, I don't know, just a little bit more interesting at the beginning. But those are my thoughts on Icebreaker. There's this one line in Icebreaker, and it's what I remember the most vividly, and has nothing to do with the romance or any of the characters, except for this one like administrator who, Nate, his name is Nate. I was so close. Nate notices, he's like, I met him when I was a freshman, and you know, the years have worn him down so that he's tired. And I was like, damn. Like, the school administrators tried so hard to provide good education for people, and it's just over time, it's the same people, it's the same thing, and you just don't get a lot of support when it comes to education in general. From the students too. Like, in my university, sometimes I'm just like embarrassed by myself and other people by like not doing anything to help or donate, you know, get involved, whatever. Anyway, yeah, and that hit me so hard for no reason. Anyway, so that was an Icebreaker. Now, when it comes to Wildfire is probably not, it's definitely not as good as Icebreaker. And for one thing I haven't mentioned were the sex scenes. Now, Icebreaker has pretty good sex scenes. Normally, when it comes to rating them, I'm like, would this be in a fan fiction? Because I'm gonna be so real with you, not a single contemporary romance I've read has even come close in terms of sex scenes to what fan fiction can provide. All right. So I rate it by that. And Icebreaker, yeah, I would say so. Pretty interesting. And then you have Wildfire, where it's just, oh, big penis. Oh my god. Like, I'm not gonna say that. But like, the female protagonist is like, whoa, she's gonna get preggers. He's gonna make him a pie. He's gonna cook up a little pie in there, right? You know what I mean? It's very straight to the point. right? There's barely any lead up. There's no interesting situations. As much as you can hate on the, ooh, they want to get busy in the backseat, oh, with all their friends around them. Ooh, it's more interesting than just, oh my God, I've never seen a penis so big. Like, right? Right? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's not thrilling. You know? And the plot itself, the characters seem a little bit more bare bones when it came to, I'm going to call it the trauma side plots. Because with Icebreaker, it felt like, yes, familial issues. Yes, issues with friends, eating disorders, stuff like that. Technically, you could say those things traumatized the two characters, but in the second book, it really was like childhood drama shit. You know, daddy issues. Deal with them differently. The way that they're solved feels very wish fulfillment. You know, the female protagonist, she becomes more at peace because of what she's done with the male protagonist, and the male protagonist's dad just becomes not as abusive. Like, he just says, like, yeah, son, I'm gonna be better. And I was like, that was fast. That was easy. Not that I don't want that to happen, but like, I don't know. It felt very wish fulfillment. I don't think that's a bad thing because romance books are wish fulfillment, but I felt that it could have been done with a bit more finesse. Yeah. Okay. Hannah Grace, the author, is not very well known for finesse. I think that she writes a fun book, and sometimes it's what you really need. It feels like a rom-com that I watch over and over and over whenever I don't feel great. And that's what her books are. And I'm not hating on that. I think that's needed. It's needed in the ecosystem. You know what I mean? So, I'm not hating. Wildfire I did not like. And I feel that Wildfire is kind of the example of what people are going to point to when they're like, romance, contemporary romance books, a sticky poopy doo-doo, right? Because it is very wish fulfillment. It's not the most skillfully written in terms of plot. I think that the writing itself was pretty good, you know. I think that romance characters kind of talk a bit weird sometimes. It's hard to write slang or, you know, write college students all the time, right? But they got it, right? And obviously, there's one thing I will always say. It always is so funny to me how in either fan fiction or in romance books, there's always like the one rich character so that the protagonists don't have to worry about that on top of everything else, because God forbid people be poor. Honestly, God forbid people be poor. I would like that to be forbidden. But like, those people are out there. They're in your homes because your siblings poor because they're at college. Get it? Anyway, and people are gonna say that, and they're gonna be like, wow, this is shit. This should be banned off the face of the earth. Okay, so ban Marvel movies. And don't say it's because of DEI. Don't say it's because, oh my God, there's women directors. Oh my God, the plots are bad. Because yes, the plots are bad, okay? But it's not women's fault. It's the fault of Marvel for being like, yeah, let's put incompetent stories there and not check for quality control. And then, you know what? Let's do literally nothing to protect our female stars. But that's besides the point. I'll move on, right? If you want to get rid of good old smutty romance books, I want you to ban porn. Actually, no, that's loaded. I don't want to do that, but like, the porn industry, yeah, that's a whole different thing. We actually had a discussion that in one of my classes. It was just a whole day of like, porn, should it be banned? Talk about it in a legal sense, right? But it feels very hypocritical for a lot of people to be like, oh my God, these books are so trashy. These books are so bad. Like, these are so gross. And it's like, a lot of people enjoy these books, okay? I can say that the Transformers films are trashy movies, right? And a lot of people defend them because a lot of people like them, right? I'm trying to think of something I didn't like that, like, oh, K-pop. I was actually, a lot of these are K-pop stuff. I'm not really in the sphere as I used to be. I pop in every now and then when Kiss of Life or Red Velvet as a comeback. Or aespa. Aespa's my favorite. Where is this aespa? Ning Ning. Cunt Slayer. Slay. Anyway. A lot of people think that K-pop is really weird and that it's cringy and it should be gotten rid of. You know, like, why are you as a grown woman, because normally they're female fans, why are you as a grown woman doing that? In your 30s, whatever. It's like, okay, don't go to another Tyler, the Creator concert. You adore him. You collect stuff from him, okay? You buy vinyls. How is that different from people buying photo cards? Yes, the photo cards may be purchased at a larger amount, but not always. And there are a lot of Tyler fans that will buy a lot of things, okay? It's being a fan. And I feel like when women like stuff and the stuff itself is not of the highest quality, of the top tier, it's like, ha ha, cringe, ew, we should get rid of you. That's gross. Like, what? That's not productive. It's pretty rude, actually. And I think that it's unproductive and pretty bad. I don't like how people talk about BookTok now. I think that is deserving of criticism, but whenever I find people critiquing it, it's really just, wow, that's cringe as fuck. And yes, it is. Because we as human beings fundamentally are cringe when it comes to romance and sex, okay? Sex is not this super easy thing. It's also not this super hard thing. Wait. It's a thing that humans do. It's one of the most human things to do. Well, actually, it's more of a living creature thing because every living creature has to reproduce. Whatever, okay? Don't hate on people for doing stuff that a lot of other people do in their private lives, all right? Do I think that Fourth Wing is a bad book? Yes, actually. I think it's very badly written. I think there's a lot of plot holes. Did I read it? No, but I watched a 7-hour video on it. Was it 7 hours? I think it was a big old number. It was a big old number. Crimson Rogue, my goat. I'm gonna defend people that like it because it's a shitty thing. It's a little thing that you like, okay? And it's got sex in it. My favorite anime is Panty and Stocking with Garter Belt. No, it's not a hentai. It is animated by the same people that made Gurren Lagann, okay? And one of the main characters is inspired by Eric Cartman from South Park, okay? There is sexual stuff everywhere. I showed it to my boyfriend. I was like, I don't care what you say. I just want to show this to you. He was like, I think it was a little bit gross. It was pretty gross. And I was like, yes. And I don't care. Some of it I don't like. Some of it I think is kind of weird. Yes, I'm thinking of the one scene between Scanty and knee socks. Like, do you get what I'm saying? Ideologically, I might, preference-wise, I might not like smutty romance books. I love you some smutty fan fiction every now and then. I do indulge. I do take a little dip. Baby, come in, the water's just fine. Feeling these high vibrations, slipping down the water slide. Now it's time for me to watch girl freestyle, surfing on the thing like it's high tide. Did you know Kalani is a surfer? Like, they really like surfing, and they work out a lot. I love Kalani. So that's where I'm going to leave things off on. Just wanted to express my thoughts on that. BookTok girlies, I might not agree with you, but I will fight with you. Because everybody likes sex. And everybody likes wish fulfillment. I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. I can't stand, what is it, Twisted Love. If you ever make me read Twisted Love again, I will kill myself. Okay? Anyway, that's what I have to say. Goodbye. Bye.